and welcome to Sunday morning's live stroll. Azra leading the way there. We're doing a different stroll today. Not a new stroll, but a different one. Now, I'm not sure whether I'm going to do the long or the longest stroll this morning. I'll see how I feel. Azra will do whatever because she just keeps going, but she'll be shattered at the end if we do the longest stroll. If we do the longest stroll, it's going to be about an hour to an hour and a half we're out this morning. So it's going to be a little while. Just see how we feel. It is currently, what is it, 6 a.m. So we have come out a bit early, but now we're getting the light in the mornings. I just prefer coming out early and getting them done. So it's one of those that I think we just sort of have to resync with obviously what's going on with the light and what have you. It's a shame it's not such a pleasant morning like it was yesterday. I think it is supposed to be like that later on. I hope so, because I've left the hot tub on. But one thing I will say is we're using my new phone, which is obviously I think the iPhone 14. When I say my new phone, I've had it coming up 3 years or 2 years, whatever it is. 2 years. Contract's due for a renewal in October. But my point is that I've been struggling very badly with the chest mount and the weight of the 13 Max. And whilst it takes very good video, as does this phone, it's the weight. It's just too heavy on the chest mount. So I've gone back to this one. So let's start as we always do. Weather forecast this morning. It is currently 5 degrees. Sorry, I was about to say 4. It is actually 5. Not that it makes much of a difference between 4 and 5. But it's currently 5 degrees. Pretty overcast, but to be fair, if we're doing the longest stroll this morning, which I think we're going to try to do, I prefer it to be a bit cooler. Welcome to everyone joining up. Hopefully you've been here before, but if you haven't, welcome. Do make sure you like and subscribe and hit the old bell. Azra is leading the way. She's the star of the show. I'm just her narrator. I say we are out every morning. Normally during the week, sort of 5 to 10 past AM here in the UK. And then at the weekends, at around this time. It's difficult always to know exactly, but around this sort of time. So the plan is today, we're going to go out the village, going north, and then we're going to go around the fields and work our way back round. So it's going to be quite a scenic route today. Hopefully we might see some deer, see what else we can come across. I reckon we could be going about an hour to an hour and a half. Depends what route we do. So yeah, we've got loads to see hopefully this morning once we get out the sort of the residential area, and then we won't see any more houses probably for about half hour, 45 minutes, guys. That's how long it is to get back round the other side of the village going the way we're going to go. So hopefully it'll be good. So first of all, what's everybody's plans for today? Is it a leisure day? Hopefully it's not a work day, but if it is, hopefully you've not got work for long. We're going to cross over first of all. Come on, Azra. Good girl. I'll tell you about yesterday, but only now, and I'll probably start getting more and more anger as I talk about it, only now, 24 hours later, have I calmed down after yesterday. So we did. I didn't take Mum to the hairdressers yesterday. I had to take James, which is fine. He needed his hair done before his European trip away. We had a potentially league deciding match yesterday in our league. Now it's under 15s football. And you could feel it in the air yesterday, I felt that it felt very tense. And I think at times us adults, parents, helpers, coaches, whatever, we feel that burden more than the kids at times. And the game at half time was 3-1 to us. And come on, Azra, you're doing a wee. Come on in. No, you're not doing a wee. You're going to the toilet. Sorry. Apologies, girl. Just sort this out, guys, and then we'll carry on talking. Just going to get rid of this, guys. There's a bin which is handily placed, and then we'll carry on. There we go. Right, let's carry on. Sorry about that. Right. So 3-1 at half time, coasting. And as much as coasting can be, the game is under control. But you just felt a little bit of a, as I said earlier, tense in the air. It's an away match. The away team, who could potentially, if they win their games in hand, could win the league. You just felt awkwardness, shall we say. Second half kicked off. And the referee said to us halfway through, we're going to have a drinks break halfway through. Fine, no problems at all. All very sensible. But then it just started to turn. Some of the decisions he was making didn't feel right, wasn't explaining himself to the players properly. Our goalkeeper then made a mistake. He picked up the ball, fine, dropped it, and then picked it up again to kick it, which you can't do. It's a rule in the FA, that's all fine, no dramas at all with that. Free kick was taken. As the free kick's being taken, the referee blows his whistle. Now at that point, everyone stops, the whistle's blown, the referee has made his decision. They score from the free kick. The referee then gives the goal. Now, the manager of our team was asking the referee how a goal can be given if he's blown his whistle to dead ball the game. That's essentially what happens, is the referee blows his whistle after the free kick's been taken, but before obviously the goal, then that's a dead ball. He freely admitted to his mistake, but refused to have the free kick retaken. Absolutely point blank refused. He, as I say, he even admitted to making a mistake. So mistakes happen. This is life. You accept that. But then a few of our players began to get quite frustrated because, as I say, some other decisions were being made that weren't being explained. We've got probably, over the course of the years I've been doing it, and obviously latterly someone else, but obviously still involved, probably one of the best disciplinary records of any team, and I stand by that. And one of our players got sin binned. Never happened in the 10 years we've been doing it, ever. I think we had more bookings in that game yesterday than we've had in the 10 years we've been doing it overall. Because our players were feeling so upset and so frustrated by how bad the referee was doing. It was just an absolute robbery in broad daylight. Then there was a shoulder to shoulder, and everyone, even the managers on the other team, said it was a shoulder to shoulder in the penalty area. The referee then gave a penalty to them to make it 3-3. They then scored a fourth goal to make it 4-3. You can lose a game, as I said yesterday. You can lose a game and you accept it. But when you're robbed of a game, that's when you can't accept it. Now, fortunately, we equalised to make it 4-4. But the referee continued. Oh, sorry, when it went 4-3, one of their players actually picked the ball up and threw it in the face of one of our players. Actually threw it in his face, from point blank range. Now, if that isn't at least a sin bin, should be a red card, I don't know what will be. Nothing. And that is why, at the end of the game, it was fairly calm to start with. Julian, myself, and the manager had already said, we'll get on the pitch straight away just to make sure there's no grief, which is exactly what we did. And there wasn't any sort of grumblings and gruntings. I don't think anyone was that pleased, really, with a draw from either team. But you sort of accepted it. We're in South Cambridgeshire here. So we're just about 10 miles south of Cambridge. Sort of between Royston and Cambridge. If you look on a map, you sort of get an idea of where we are. But it is beautiful, and we're not being helped by the weather this morning, if I'm honest. But it's pleasant enough to be walking. So for sure, Dave, it is lovely. Hopefully we'll see some deer and some other wildlife further around. Anyway, just going back to finishing this story because it needs to be finished. We all came off, got the players into a huddle, was obviously talking. One of our parents walked across and he was grumbling away. I could hear him, and I was sort of at the back of the players, just sort of listening to what was going on, trying not to get too involved anymore with that side of it. And he must have given a look or something towards the referee, because the referee then started, do you want to start with me? Do you want to start with me? And I thought, oh, this is all we need. So I sort of stepped between the pair of them. And then I found myself getting drawn into it. Now, I wanted to say a lot of things to this guy. That is of no doubt. It was the daylight robbery and how a referee can influence a game to its absolute heightened best yesterday. And it was just appalling to watch. But you have to realise in life, don't want to lose your temper in front of the kids. That's not the way forward. We are better than that. And whether we win or lose the league will not be defined on one result yesterday. It's over the course of 18 games. But had the result, I think, gone the right way yesterday, we would have had a lot more control over, obviously, our own destiny. And I think that's why this referee, who was one of their parents, I believe, felt the need to influence it like he did. Now, quick conclusion to this. I didn't get too involved with this referee. I just told him to shut up and go away, which was pretty much the end of it. However, after that, their managers did come and speak to us all, and they fully accepted our frustrations. But You know, whether you should, during the games, go and say to those guys, "Look, this is appalling, what's going on?" Maybe that's a lesson learned, I don't know. But whatever the scenario, what's gone on, um, yesterday was just, well, I was so angry yesterday. Even talking to you about it now, guys, I'm still angry about it. Because it, as I've said before, I've said it a few times, there's ways of winning, there's ways of losing, and there's daylight robbery. And I'm afraid to say that is exactly what it was yesterday, daylight robbery. We have put a complaint into the league, and I feel we've never done it before, and nothing will come of it, I'm fairly sure of that. But I think the right thing to have done yesterday was to have done it, because to a man or woman, parents alike, no one could justify any of how this referee carried on yesterday. None of it. And I think that's a sure sign of knowing that, you know, you're not in the wrong when you're saying this stuff. Because if if it's just you or a couple people, it's different, in it. But to a man and woman, no one, well, unless you were on their team, I suppose. But even they must have been honest. Well, they knew it, because their coaches spoke to us about it after the game. They knew what'd gone on. What do you do? Very, very difficult to call that. Anyway, that is the rant over, and I'm going to try now come down from 100 back down to my leisurely stroll. But yeah, people just hi to you, Dave, in the Philippines. Sorry, I just read that. She is enjoying the Cambridge countryside. Believe it or not, I can't let her off the lead though. I'll tell you for why. Because if she did see a deer or a rabbit, she'd be gone. And there ain't no keeping up with her. Once bitten, twice shy. So she's got this extendable lead. So it gives her a little bit of flexibility. But yeah, it's we're very, very blessed with the strolls we have in our village, I must say. I mean, we're almost going out the village now, really. There's a huge solar farm up here on the left-hand side. It's absolutely massive. Not the biggest one in the area, but it's absolutely huge. It's sort of just, I want to say, appeared overnight. Obviously, it didn't. But I don't do this route all the time. But one walk it wasn't here, the next it was. And that's probably over the space of a few months, maybe. I do this one, as I say. No. Come on. Right. Wait. Sit. Right, go on. And that is what happens, guys, when she slips her lead, because she gets too excited with the foxes. And that is what happens. Sheer panic. That's the second time that's ever happened to me. And what was happening? She was rolling in fox poo. Yeah, come on. Enough chaos from you, young lady. Yeah, enjoy your day, Dave. Nice to chat to you. Onwards we go. Thank you for the likes this morning. Do make sure you like and subscribe. It does mean a lot to the channel. We are closing in on that 1,000 subscriber mark. I've made you a promise. At the 1,000, there'll be a challenge put down for the next 1,000. And then we will talk about it as and when. but there'll be no more talk about subscribers, because the 1,000 is where I wanted to get to for the first milestone. Everything after that, for me, this being a hobby, is a bonus. So, like and subscribe, keep watching, hit the old bell, but she's the star of the show, not me. Thanks for that, Dave, appreciate it. There's certainly lots on there. It's not just live dog strolls. There is a vlog coming out tonight, actually. Bit of a DIY vlog, which I don't really do because I'm not that great at DIY, guys. But our hot tub was in desperate need of attention after a bit of a bruising winter. So I did it from start to finish, cleaning it. And you actually saw me, I had to buy a sort of a wet vac as well. And it was all filmed Ray-Ban Metas. So you're going to see them in their full glory. I would have put them on this morning if the sun had been out, if I'm honest. And I was sort of contemplating putting my contacts in, but it just feels like a bit of a waste putting them on when the sun's not really out, and what's the point? So, contact lenses, guys, depends where you watch it from, of course. The ones I have to get, 30 contact lenses are 50 quid. And I bet you that's gone up with what's going on in the world at the minute. It was 50 quid when I bought them, which is probably 2 or 3 months ago. So I only wear them really at the weekends, and I only wear them at the weekends if we've got nice weather. And obviously I wear them when we go on holidays and stuff like that. Come on, Azra. Nothing, guys, is cheap, is it? That's the facts. Nothing's cheap. And I don't really like the thought of having me eyes lasered. Where did that come from? A lasered. I don't like the sounds of that at all, really. I reckon, though, over your life span, being a glasses wearer, whether you're just glasses or contacts or whatever, or both, like I am, I reckon you could probably pay for at least 4 or 5 operations is what you spend on glasses and contacts. I genuinely believe that if you work out how much it costs. At least that. So it's a lot of money, guys. A lot of money. I'm sort of reasonably pacing myself. If you've been with me during the week, guys, you will know I've been suffering quite badly with my Achilles since last weekend, actually. And it's still not right, if I'm honest with you. Just making sure the live stream was still live, which it definitely is. Just making sure we're all still good. There's more people sort of coming and going, which is fine. I've said it many times before. I'm out doing this every day. I enjoy the chat with people. So if there's a few people or lots of people, it's never worried me. It's the point I'm trying to make. What I am worried about is making sure I take the right path So I have least grief on this flipping Achilles I was just telling you about. And if you were with me a short while ago, I was telling you about the solar farm. I don't know if you can see that. That is it. Oh, well, we can begin to see it here. It is huge. And only when you land in the UK at one of the airports, probably more around here, sort of Luton or Stansted, do you know how many of these there are about sort of in the sort of English countryside. You wouldn't get it in sort of Heathrow or Gatwick because, of course, more built up. I think I'm doing pretty well for picking my path through this, to be honest with you guys. I'm just trying to avoid any major divots. Now, in a minute, just sort of at the end of this sort of line of trees, as you can see, the solar panels are a lot better there. There's this hedge in front to the right, and we sort of follow that all the way back round. Now, as I say, there's two choices, and I'm thinking I'm going to go for the longer one. Just have to see how this leg feels when we get there. Very uphill and downhill. The particular strolls that push me further out the village. Sort of around the village, we're very, very lucky. It's all very, very flat, which is hugely helpful. But sort of going out the village doing the fields, it's a lot more hilly. Good exercise for us both, though. It's 1.3 miles we're at, guys, at the minute. I don't know what we're at. Coming up half an hour, blimey. So now I suppose when I do the 2 miles in the mornings, that's about 40 to 45 minutes. That's about right. Just feels like we've been out a lot longer. Just very, very blessed with a beautiful stroll. And we're lucky to have these in around where we live. You know, a lot of people sort of in the inner sort of towns, cities, whatever. Yeah, you get some nice parks, of course you do. But this is just freedom, isn't it, guys? Absolute freedom. If I carried on straight down there, which I'm not going to, but if I did, that I think I'm right would bring me out at Flint Cross, which, funnily enough, guys, is where we had our wedding reception. So, and I noticed yesterday they do a breakfast from 6:30 until 12 every day, it said. I think at some stage, maybe we'll go and give that a try. Now, I'm always very careful when I go and give new places a try. I don't like taking mum because she does get a little bit flustered. So I'd rather go somewhere, see what I think, and then say, yes, it'd be all right. No, it's not. We went to a new place a couple of weekends ago, and the service wasn't great. The food was lovely, but it's just a bit slow. But mum became very agitated, and it's just, I was getting annoyed. I didn't want to show her, but I did comment on it sort of before we went, and a few people have commented on it as well. You know, so it's not just us saying it. I think what the frustrating thing is, apart from one other sort of group, we were the only ones in the restaurant, and that's what I think is more annoying at times. It's not like they were rushed off their feet. Is my point I'm making. Anyway, so I think at some stage we may go and give it a try. Let's say we've got one more football match, which is on Wednesday, and then the season is done. So perhaps it won't be next weekend because Julie and James are away. Come on, Azra. Not having another incident with your lead. But yeah, maybe I mean, I don't like going to places by myself really. You look like Larry the Lamb, don't you? Um, so it probably won't be next weekend. Maybe the weekend after. Maybe the Saturday after. Go and give it a try. It's not run by the same people. They've long gone. I mean, we've been married 20 years this year, so they're long gone. So it's not like you're going there to see old friends or anything like that. Maybe a slight bit of nostalgia, but it doesn't look like it did when we got married there. Go on. How are we feeling, Azra? Are we all right with the long walk? Longest walk, yeah? You don't care, you just keep going. Me, that's going to topple before you. And when you're out here in the country, you hear and smell everything. I love hearing a bird song. I don't love smelling the manure where they've done whatever they've done to the fields. Good thing we haven't got smell-o-vision, guys. But it's part and parcel of living in the country. There are some mornings I come out of the house and by crikey, you smell it. It isn't as potent this morning or anything like. Lovely bird song above my head there. Anyone that's got a dog that might be watching, this is the most relaxing time you can go out when there's nobody else about. Time is your own and you can just enjoy. Just having a look at some of these comments because I've missed some, unfortunately. I do apologise. Yeah, I've missed quite a few comments from one of my regular viewers, so I'm sorry about that. Chatting away, you don't always see them coming through, so if you are still online or you watch this back, apologies I missed you. This isn't going to be quite 5 miles. I think it's near about 3.5 when we finish. If we do the longest bit of it, which I'm sort of erring to side we can. Once we've got up the hill, it's sort of all right back down into the village. It's just this gradual uphill. It's probably not even coming out on camera, but it's gradually uphill the whole way to the main road. But I think as long as you pace yourself, and don't overdo it. My biggest thing at the minute, as I've said already, is this flipping Achilles on my right leg. I was in the hot tub last night and I was feeling the muscle and it's so delicate. And that's a week. I should know by now, they should know, guys, after what happened coming back from Euro Disney. Muscles don't repair. And the facts are, I walk every day. So it ain't going to repair without any rest. So I've been doing some strengthening exercises as much as I can, sort of at my desk, at work, and obviously at home. But the stupid part of me says, why are you even doing this? The longest stroll this morning. See, she knows we normally do a right here. Go on, straight on. I think it's as far as that big tree in the distance. I don't know if you can see that. I think that's where the main road starts. I think. I can never quite remember here. There was one weekend, I don't think it was last year, it must have been the year before, where we did this particular stroll. And we were out, it was about 9 o'clock. So a bit later, well, quite a bit later than it is today. And the temperature just ramped up. It ramped up, I think, to about sort of 15 degrees. Not hot. Otherwise we wouldn't have been out. But Azra got to somewhere around this point, and she just looked at me and sat down. And she just didn't want to go any further. I really had to sort of cozy her up to get to the top here. But I had to ring Julie to come and pick us up. No such shenanigans today, yet. We must have done this stroll since then, and I'm very confident we've done this stroll since then. Never had a problem like it. I just think she was a bit younger then, because she's only 5 on May the 4th, so a week tomorrow she'll be 5. Star Wars dog. And so that would have made her, I don't know, let's say 2.5. They do say a dog's physical attributes are between 3 and 7, I believe. I think that's what they say. In fact, I know that's what they say. I've read it. Got to be right if you've read it, hasn't it? Yeah. You certainly wouldn't do this sort of stroll when they're a puppy. Let's put it like that. Because they are still growing and can really do them damage. So if you have got a puppy, always take the advice. Isn't it 5 minutes for every month? I think that's what they say. Up until a year. Something like that. I may be wrong on that, but I think I am right. I remember when we had the... bear in mind, we only had her from 6 months old, guys. Because she's a rescue dog. So we lost out on time, but it happened once on this stroll where she just packed up and said no more. And then, funnily enough, it happened a few weekends ago. I don't know if any of you guys were with me, but she just kept on sitting down. I don't think she was feeling that well that particular day, because I later got told that she'd been out in the garden eating a lot of grass, and she sort of was very lethargic all day that day. And I truly think that's what she's going to be like when we get home today after this. She wants to do it, she loves doing it, but then when she gets home and just completely flakes out. We will have a sit down somewhere when we come across the bench. Sort of put in my mind where there might be one, but it's not for a while. In fact, it's almost pretty close to home, really. Come on, come on. Whatever you've seen, you're not going to get through there, are you? Come on, Azra, let's go. Come on, come on, come on. But what we've been going now, coming up 40 minutes, there is a deer that she saw, but obviously, fortunately, she's too far away. She hasn't. There's quite a few. In fact, they're actually hares. They're not deer, but there's quite a few of them up here. They have all scarpered, fortunately. Right, so I can see the road now. So it's a bit beyond that tree that I was telling you about was a little bit of a landmark. And I will show you when we get there exactly how far it is when we get there. Come on, Azra, lead on. Come on. And this is where it starts to get really steep as well, to be honest with you. But I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, as they say. Come on, Azra, lead on. Lead on. Good girl. That is the only shame, guys, of this stroll, is there isn't really any benches until a lot closer to home, which is a real shame, because it's at this point when you get to the top here. And bear in mind, since we turned into this field, it has been a steady hill the whole way. You could do with a little bench, and it's not like you're walking in a farmer's field. This is a purpose path. Another bunny just went in front of us. And I think if the council wanted to spend a bit of money that they like to waste at the end of the fiscal year, they could, or financial year, sorry, they could put some benches. There you go, prime spot, a bench, or a few. What a beautiful, beautiful morning. It's just a shame we haven't got the lovely sunshine, and I think that's what Paul was referring to. He was with me yesterday, and we had a beautiful morning yesterday. Sunny, warm, but that's not entirely true. Warm. It was sunny. It wasn't warm yesterday. Although I say that, when we did kick off the now infamous football match that I was telling you about at the beginning, which I'm not going to go through again, kickoff was 9:15, and I had I had trackies and my t-shirt on at that point. That's how hot it was, and it was very hot. I was up until about 4, 4:30 yesterday. Another rabbit just out and taking eyes in Azra, as you can see, guys. Go on. You're not going to get it, are you? Just have to forget about it. Literally, as soon as we got home from the football match, as I said earlier on, watch the rerun. I'm not going to go through it again. I was so angry. I literally said to Julie, right, I'm having some lunch. I'm then going to do a couple of jobs. And I'm going to go in the hot tub for half an hour, 45 minutes, which is exactly what I did. I then sat out in the garden probably for another couple of hours. Watched some of the football that was on yesterday on the iPad outside. I came back in and I felt no better. And this is the thing, isn't it? You sort of let things overtake you in life. You know, there's far more important things going on in the world today than an under-15s football match. But at the time, you feel so passionate about it and what has transpired that it's hard not to, let it ruin your day. And I'm not the manager anymore. I haven't been for a couple of years. But I've grown up with all these boys, got barring a couple. And I feel so passionate and protective of them that I still sort of find myself taking it far too personally at times. And we've got to do it all again on Wednesday. Yay! Against the same team. Hopefully we won't have the, well, we won't have the same donkey referee. We'll have a proper referee. But the tension will now build now up until that match. Really, it's a must-win for us to have a chance of really the league, and then let other results take care of themselves. That's really where we are. I think if the other team do win it after yesterday's refereeing debacle, well done to them, because they'd have done it in all the wrong ways. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm finishing that conversation now, because I'll get angry and up again. Right. Okay, so we're now at the top, and we're now sort of making our way back into the town. Now we've got this last little bit of uphill, which I'd forgotten about, and then it is all down here, all downhill, all the way into the village. Can't really even show you a sunrise this morning, guys, because you can't see it. And we did yesterday, didn't we? And we were out a darn sight earlier than this. I have got to get the drone in the sky again today, weather permitting, because I did get a bit of a notification saying about flying hours with my drone license. Go on, go on, go on. So I need to get some time with that today. Shouldn't be too bad to go out in the back garden, fly that for a bit, whiz it around. Someone said to me, why don't you just take it above the house and hover? Well, it's a bit cheating, isn't it, really? But I get what you mean. So what we've been going now, coming up 50 minutes, and we've done 2.29 miles up to this point, guys. So, as I said earlier, between 3 and 3.5 miles by the time we get home, easily. I said I reckon we'd be out for about an hour and a half today, didn't I? And I reckon it's going to be around that time. So again, know your room, know your audience. Tell your audience at the beginning how long they're letting themselves in for. Because we've had a few people sort of coming and going this morning, which has been nice. This is not a stroll I absolutely love doing all that often. And it's only because, A, it's quite long, but B, it's very, very hilly as well. And as I said earlier on the stroll, the hills in the village, sort of in the main village, are pretty much very flat, in fact. But as soon as you start sort of coming, sort of the surrounding sort of fields, very, very hilly. We're now on the flat, thank goodness, before we start the downhill into the village. So the village obviously is in a bowl. Never have any problems with flooding, no? Very lucky, considering. I was recently doing the house insurance, and that's one of the things, obviously, that comes up about how close you live to a river and floodplains and stuff like that, for obvious reasons. But more and more houses in the Cambridgeshire area, not so much here as such, though we're southern Cambridgeshire, but we've seen a lot of houses when we've been to football matches this season where they've actually been on stilts. And that's obviously because of their location to sort of rivers and floodplains. So it gives them that protection. and it still allows the houses to be built. So no good for perhaps older people or people that are struggling with mobility, because of course you've got steps to your house before you even start. Mm. Come on, Azra, keep going. Keep going. Good girl. We're looking for a gap in the bush at the other end, Azra. You know where we are. Go on, keep going. All these new builds over here, you can see them quite clearly. There is a way I can cut through there, and it brings us out sort of in sort of the fields around, but I've sort of set in my mind we're going to be doing the longer strolls, so I'm not going to cut the corners by doing that. But that is another one we could do if we were doing this stroll, maybe next time. It's quite a nice little meadow walk, actually. And I think that's what they have to do now when they build new builds, don't they? They have to put in greenland and walks for people to do. Seems to be the thing nowadays for fitness and stuff like that, which is quite right. I can quite easily, as I've said before, come up with a 2 to 2.5 mile stroll, staying pretty much within the village, but coming out as far as this. So it is possible, without obviously artificially made things as well. Anyway, if you live in the middle of nowhere without stuff around, it's a good thing having sort of a walk. I remember where we used to live in Royston, there used to be a walkway all the way around the new estate. Not that we used it that often, more so when James was born and we were sort of pushing him in the buggy and what have you. It was quite nice to have it. So I wouldn't not have it, but there are other ways, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, in a minute, guys, we're going to be coming back to normality, the residential of the village. Now, shall we carry on? I don't know if we can get through here. Or does this take us into the new estate? Take us into the new estate, doesn't it? In fact, I think we will do that way, though, Azra. How are you going to get through? Can you go under that? No, you can't. Can you go under? Under? No. Right, we'll go round, Azra. Come on. Believe you me, when we've been going as long as we have, guys, I ain't picking her up. Unless it's an emergency. Right, we'll go over here, Azra. Don't worry about my Achilles. Up. Come on. And this is the only thing about doing this. I can hear there's a car coming up behind me. And we're coming to one of these wretched chicanes. You just have to wait with me. Because he's going to be right on us as we go over the island. I can hear him. And he's clearly seen us as well, because I can hear him slowing down. So, good. Go on the pavement. Good girl. So yeah, if we would come out here, had we been able to get Azra over that little ridiculous fence. They want to kick that little bit of middle fence out so animals can get through there. That's what they want to do. You can see the new bits of the village because the pavements are so much more wider than the originals. Of course, none of this was here prior to the new estate. Come on, Azra. Good girl. Yeah, I think this is pretty much where pavement sort of ended on this side prior. And they sort of say this is sort of a cycle path out of the village towards the new estate. Well, there's no segregation, is there, really, between walking and cycling? So I guess it is. Listen, it's got to be safe for kids, and that's the main thing. And we've got a cat on the other side that will antagonise Azra because it's going to cross the road in front of us, as they do. And she will study that now until it goes out of sight, which it now has. Azra, it's gone. You've lost it. Okay, so we're now into the village from the new road, Flint Cross end of the village. This is all new. This obviously all had to be done when they were doing the new build for access up there. There was a pavement here, but it was more a rickety old track than a pavement, to be honest. And now we make the turn, guys, towards home. Still got a ways to go. This is when I can start relaxing a bit. Although not really, because you're more likely to see people and dogs here than you are where we've been. And cats and rabbits. Still looking for that bench. I do know where there's a bench. Whether I'll sit on it being so close to home, I don't know, but we'll see. But I did say an hour to an hour and a half. I reckon about an hour and 15, hour and 20 when we get home. Just so peaceful, guys. Favourite time of the day. Been going now, as I say, since 6. And this is probably the longest stroll I could manufacture for us to do this morning. Azra will be asleep now for most of the morning. She'll pretend she's sulking, but really she's knackered. We're going to the cafe for breakfast in a few hours. And I don't think it's much. I was playing Sardinia football today. There's a FA Cup semi-final later. Was it Chelsea Leeds, isn't it? I mean, so might watch a bit of that. But apart from that, there's not a lot on today. To be honest with you, so hopefully the sun comes out so we can just enjoy the garden and the tub. Come on, miss. Come on. She's going to the loo again, I think. At least she's done it near a bin. Right, onwards. And I know there's a bin round the next corner, and there's a bench there, but I'm not going to sit on it, guys. We'll be home in 15 minutes. If I sit down now, I'll stiffen up. So let's just get it done. And to all those that might have been joining up after me saying I'll be on about this time tomorrow, I'm sorry I've been going so long. I was just up. It was light, and it's such a lovely time to get out. I just made that decision to come out. Can always watch the rerun, guys. Been quite an entertaining stroll this morning. Azra slipped her lead. Second time that's happened to me. I blame the foxes. Oh, you got her back. She didn't get very far, guys. She knew straight away when I was talking to her family that she didn't need to be moving. So again, if you've been with me before, you'll know we are getting ever closer to home. Not for a while. Got ways to go with that. I think Azra and me are both ready to sit down when we get home. I'm pretty tired now. And we've now gone over the 3 mile mark. I'll just show you that. Come on, Azra, lead on. Good girl. And the sun is now beginning to show itself, thank goodness. It's not at no point it's been cold this morning. Been nice, not like yesterday morning. Yesterday morning it was -1 when we went out. It was 5 when we went out this morning. It's been quite pleasant this morning, if I'm honest. So I'm ready to get home. I'm ready to have a drink. The important thing is when you're doing a long stroll, guys, however you're doing it, you just pace yourself, especially when you've not got a rush. All you're going to do is burn yourself out. I think I've pretty much kept at the same sort of speed. It'd be interesting to see the charts, but I'm pretty confident I've kept the same speed up all the way around. That's all you can do, isn't it, really? When I was doing the short strolls when I'd hurt my leg, you might remember if anyone's watched me before, These are the strolls we were doing around here, and it was sort of about a mile we were doing. The thought of doing what we've just done, even a couple of months ago. No way, Jose. Anyway, guys, we are getting towards the end now. I'm sorry to those, anyone that's joining up. Now, there is, of course, the rerun will be available in due course. But we've had a great stroll this morning. I think I'm going to start saying 6 to half 6 for Sunday strolls now, because we've got the light and get out, get home before the world starts waking up. It's great. So, hope you have an amazing Sunday, guys, whatever you're up to today. And we will reconvene tomorrow at the earlier time of around 5 a.m. UK time. Cheers, guys.